Very, very well done by Marco. Pretty flawless game, actually. Everything he did in flow. Everything he did made a ton of sense. Winning the first game of their match, Adrian has got a big, big task in front of him to come back and equalize. But for the moment, Marco with a very, very convincing victory. Well done to Marco.
Welcome! Here we have Game 2 of the first titled match in the Real Chess League. Two young, strong chess masters battle for the right to ascend the bracket. With the white pieces, International Master and in-game virtuoso Adrian Gschnitzer. Playing the black pieces is FIDE Master, Duba fan, and opening traps expert Marco Riehle. They know each other well as the players are friends, compatriots, and stream together on Twitch as the ChessHobbits99. Since Marco won the first game, Adrian has to go all in to win to stay alive. Approaching the board now is International Master Adrian Gschnitzer, the man who must play the most uncompromising chess today in this bout, as a draw doesn't do it for him. He's in a must-win situation after having lost the first game to his opponent, FIDE Master Marco Riehle. So I expect to see some very uncompromising attacking chess for this man to go all out. He has nothing to lose and everything to gain. So I imagine we'll see some attacking determination from him this game. And now approaching the board, we have FIDE Master Marco Riehle. He's an opening traps expert, very tricky. And these two guys are friends, so I expect to see him hold a very solid game. Not necessarily looking to attack, perhaps, but we'll see. These two guys are friends. They know each other's game very well. And I imagine we might see some lines where they try to sidestep one another's preparation since they do know each other's game so well. Let's get down to it. Good luck to both players. Look at them stare each other down. I can't help but to imagine that these guys just want to have a good laugh. You know, being friends. You know, to stare each other down like this has to be kind of humorous. And we're off. 10-2 is the time control. 10 minutes to begin. 2-second increment after each move. And C4 has been played. Been essayed by International Master Adrian Gschnitzer. I like to call C4 the E4 player's D4. And E6. I wonder how much of these moves are each of these players trying to sidestep the pet lines and favorite lines of the other. And D5. So International Adrian Gschnitzer, who is in the must-win situation again, he started chess at age 5. And he comes from a long line of masters. His father and grandfather both were international masters. Marco coming out with knight f6. His blitz elo is above 2,500, so this is going to be a tough game for Adrian Gschnitzer either way. He's beaten the likes, has Marco Riehle. He's beaten the likes of Eric Hansen, Linear Dominguez, Alexenko. So he's got some skills. We have a pretty standard game here. Much like a Queen's Gambit structure. And we have like a Queen's Gambit accepted here. Let's see. Now, when this pawn is taken, it normally leaves the e4 square for the push. The knight holding the e4 square. White likes to take a nice broad center here and take an edge in development and time and space. Adrian Gschnitzer's taking his time, making very purposeful, methodical moves. He's not doing anything off of his instinct, as he is in a must-win situation. So he has to take his time and make certain that he is designing the position according to his own specifications. And bishop b4, pinning the knight, effectively attacking the e4 pawn with the f6 knight. And he recovers the lost pawn and develops his light squared bishop, preparing the castle. Quick development is the name of the game here for white. I personally like white's position better than black's. I just feel that white will have some lasting pressure in these types of positions for, and here, this is a pawn sack, but it's not really a sacrifice. So if black gains the pawn on, if he takes twice on c3, then he may find himself woefully behind in development and having to backpedal and trying to save his piece while also getting his pieces into the game. And just castles. He says, I don't want any of this c3 business. That can't be healthy for my position in development. Again, this is along the lines of playing very solid, not overreaching for Marco. All he has to do is draw the game to continue. Already showing a little bit of time differential as Adrian's almost a minute down on the clock. Bringing the rook to e1, attacking the knight. Just development. Grabbing the space, not concerned about the pawn because that's only going to exacerbate white's development. White's looking for that kingside attack in that he has the b1 h7 diagonal open, the c1 h6 diagonal, both bishops aimed at the king side, the knight over there, the queen ready, the rook already accessing the center of the e file. All of these spell a swift kingside attack. However, black is still solid and may just have enough resources to not lose the game. We'll see Adrian figuring out, exactly what to do with his pieces. Yeah. It's not a big concern now, but I would start to get a bit worried about the time situation, being as this still is a blitz game. The 2-second increment you can live on, but perhaps you can't make very accurate moves when the time gets down. I'm already concerned for the time management of Adrian, especially since this is an opening night and it's very early, so I think he should be moving a bit more swiftly. Marco must feel a bit smug as he looks over at his opponent, wondering, why in the world are you taking so much time? His body language says a lot. He seems like he's very well versed. It looks like he's almost smirking there a bit. But these are two friends, so. Rook b1, putting pressure on the b7 pawn, maybe questioning the development of black's light squared bishop on c8. Adrian has to be careful as he's very well aware that Marco has drawn the likes of Maxime Vachier-Lagrave in blitz matches. And b6, blunting the effect of the attack on the b7 pawn, giving the b7 square for the bishop's development, perhaps even the a6 square. And again here, we see over just about a minute of time deficit of differential for Adrian. He's very focused. And just from the time, I just feel that Marco is a bit more confident, perhaps. But this is to be expected as, again, a draw is fine for Marco, whereas it is not. It doesn't work for Adrian. In this position, I would imagine that Adrian is considering how to develop his dark squared bishop. He's probably guessing about bishop f4 versus g5. g5 seems the most natural as it just places pressure on a pinned piece on the king side, and may induce black to play something like h6 and weaken the structure on the king side a little to make for some attacking chances in that sector. Maybe he's considering to play bishop a3 and try to attack the dark squares and eye all the way down into black's camp. It is my opinion that white should take out all stops and go for some kind of kingside attack, being as that black is still a bit solid, but again, lacking development. Maybe white could find some discoordination in his pieces. But he pins the knight. It's what you do. I would imagine h6 would come next, as it's kind of a compulsory move, especially in Queen's Gambit line. Just like, what are you going to do with the bishop? Make some luft for the king. Not Adrian, but Marco's looking off to the side, probably wondering about the plan of Marco, probably trying to decide about bishop d7, whether to kick the bishop immediately or not, or play knight d7 or something. He kicks the bishop immediately. h6, putting the question to white's bishop. Asking him, telling him you can't stay here. Asking him where is he going to go. Will he trade on f6 and say that, you know, maybe he can mount? I think this bishop would be quite essential for an attack on the king side. I would not, if I were white, trade off any pieces, as I think the trades will only help white. I mean, help black, sorry. And again, Adrian's in the tank. I mean, you're either retreating. You have to figure that if you would have known what you were going to do with that piece before you placed it there, as h6 is a very probable thing. So after h6, generally you will probably see bishop h4 or bishop f4 or even d2. All right, h4. Now we're cooking. This is the uncompromising chess that I would expect from Adrian in this must-win situation. However, I love to attack, and I'm not certain that h4 and sacrificing the bishop in this particular position is the way to go. You would normally see this kind of attack when the rook, there's still a rook for white on the h file, where this rook can eye down on the castled black king's position and make some threats there, you know, in collusion with the queen, you know, squares like queen to h5. But perhaps Marco won't take the bishop. Maybe he sees deeper. Maybe this is I don't believe in this attack, but we'll see. I think he can just play h pawn takes bishop, and after g takes and the knight moves, where does the knight go? I would imagine perhaps maybe knight to d5, but let's see what the players have in store. And again, we see that time differential, 4 minutes, 15 seconds to 6 minutes, 16 seconds. That is a lot of time, especially in a blitz match, especially after you've sacrificed a piece. But again, Adrian must create winning chances, even if it means that he also creates losing chances in the meanwhile. Now Marco's going to put a bit of thought into this, I think, just to make sure he's keeping track of all the possibilities. He's a blitz expert, third in the German blitz championship, Marco Riehle. And he's played some of the top players in the world and has had successes. Knight d5. Nice centralized square for the knight, blocking the bishop somewhat, and centralizing so that it can access some squares. Queen d2. You got to get the pieces over to the queen side. The bishop sacrifice means I'm going to mate you on the queen side, on the king side. If white cannot muster some attack there, then white is just lost. Marco's now thinking. It's only fitting that he take a little time, as he has to make sure that he does not get mated. And the game should be a simple win, being that he's a piece up. Queen d6. activating the queen, controlling the f4 square along with the knight. Basically saying that maybe I can block and maybe bring the knight via f4 to g6 and kind of, or even h4, and playing some move like g6 and creating a bit of a fortress over there, making it difficult for white to break through on the king side. And Marco consistently looks at his opponent. They're friends, so I imagine he's looking at him questioningly. What are you gonna do? I think he feels that he just has to brave some more attacking moves and he will be fine. Marco. Rook to e4. Again, this is the point that I was making earlier, was that the rook should have been on the h file, because now he has to take 2 moves to get the rook into proper attacking form. I think black will make good use of these 2 moves to continue to make sure that he shuts the door on a lot of the lines to his king. A thematic push in a situation like this could be some combination of g6 followed by knight g5 and queen over to the h file and some mate on h7 or h8. But this will take a lot of time. 3 minutes 33 seconds for Adrian. 3 minutes 54 for Marco. Adrian says, let's trade. Bishop a6. The less pieces you have, and this is a queenside piece that wasn't developed. He's going to simply trade this piece for the already developed bishop on c4. Every piece and trade that comes off the board, every trade that happens, only makes black's position stronger. When you're up pieces, trade them, reduce the fraction. And I feel at this moment, after bishop a6, is really when Adrian is probably feeling that he made a mistake by sacrificing the bishop. The black king is probably adequately defended. However, there could be some tricks over there. So he trades off the bishop because he can't afford to retreat. That's losing some time that black will simply use to continue to develop and make some progress there. Rook to h4, in line with the plan. Maybe now there's some idea of queen to d3, attacking the a6 knight and threatening checkmate on the h7 square. So that is a potential double attack that Marco will have to see and parry. See how he chooses to do this. Maybe he'll try to vacate the premises. No, it looks like he's going to play g6, and g6 is on the board, making it a bit more difficult for the pieces to get in the game. And it also prohibits the move a g6 that could also add some attacking potential to the king side. Just about 2 minutes for Adrian and 3 minutes 21 for Marco. Queen d3. And this is a telltale because the maneuvering has to still happen. There are no pieces to attack the king side for white. So he takes the time and hits the knight on a6 in an attempt to get the queen over to the king side, and b5 defending. If rook takes b5, then there's no attack on the knight on a6, and white has a free hand. Black has a free hand to continue moving. For example, maybe he can play knight takes c3 there. No, knight takes c. If queen takes b5, knight takes c3. There's a fork on the rook and the queen from the black knight. And if rook takes c3, then not sure. I'm sure there was a tactic there. Knight to e5. Trying to play queen h3 and some form of rook h8, queen h7 or h6 checkmate. There are also ideas of knight takes g6, pawn takes g6, queen takes g6, which would affect the checkmate. So it's not, Marco's not out of the water yet, but it seems that these should be fairly easy to parry. Maybe king g7 in order to just defend the h file and add the king's defense to the g6 square. Yes, this is what he played, and he attacks again the g6 square. So now things are hotting up a bit. So now Marco has to figure out what to do about this rook sack on g6. But I think he can even allow the rook sack on g6 because I don't think he will be able to checkmate there. And if it's a draw, if he only has a perpetual, then that favors Marco, who only needs a draw to win the match. There are ideas of knight f4, maybe attacking the queen and holding the h6 square, but maybe there would just be queen g3 or something there. So rook h8 actually is a very good move. It's saying get rid of trade another piece that's attacking. Rook g6, pawn takes g6, queen takes. You can't take the rook after rook g6. I guess you would have to play king f8 there. But he doesn't play rook g6. And there was also a counterattack on h2 for black with the queen and the rook. But knight takes, attacking the queen and the rook. If king takes, then queen to g6, and that's not going to be very healthy for black. So knight f4, this is actually a very good move. It counterattacks the queen and simultaneously defends the g6 square against the queen and rook barrage. I think that maneuver feels like a nail in the coffin. If knight takes queen, then knight takes queen. We have an exchange, and then more rooks are going to come off the board because the h6 rook can't leave. Can only move along the file. So that's actually feels very, very good. Feels like a nail in the coffin. At best, this will secure a draw. I just feel that maybe white isn't doing too well. But we can say this knight on a6 is not doing much. So we can say that everywhere else on the board except for around the black's queenside position, things are even. And if this piece can't get in a game and Adrian can keep up the pressure, then perhaps he can draw the game and save the loss. But again, that's no consolation as he is in a must-win situation. All in to win it. Okay, 14 seconds. Basically playing off of increment now is Adrian. And Marco is fast approaching that as well with about 55 seconds on his clock. Again, this is 10-2, meaning after each player makes a move, they get 2 seconds increment added to their clock. Now it looks as though Marco's a bit flustered. He's feeling that his pressure is running out and he doesn't see exactly, perhaps, how to take care of this. He's going for the trades, defending his king flank. Adrian grabs the pawn. It's consolation. The knight on f4 is defended twice. More trades. Not taking the pawn and opening lines to the king and pinning his knight, but just moving in front of the pawn, using the white pawn as his own shield. And rook to g5, trying to penetrate to g7 perhaps, and or maybe play something like rook g4 and simply defending g7 square. And with there are not very many pieces on the board, he's still up at this knight over on a6. Queen e4, trying to find places, attacking the rook. And the game is exciting. 5 seconds. Both players even in time, moving on increment. We may have a flag of a game here. Both players moving on increment. Whose instincts shall be better? And will it be enough to take home the win? Pinning the rook. down to the wire. Here's a check on the board. They're moving so fast, the DGT can't keep up. Adrian took too long to make that last move. He flagged. What an ending. I don't know if we can call that ending anything but insane. And looking at the position on the board, had Adrian had enough time to get that move played, he would still have been lost because Marco had just created a queen rook battery and that would be mate on the E1 square. We have a winner in Marco Riehle, and we will have analysis by the player shortly.
so interesting. That was interesting.
Yeah. I tried to avoid your theory knowledge. That's why I played c4 knight f3. I knew you played as shy handling. I thought in this move order I can bring you out of theory. But
I took and I like your idea with bishop takes c4.
I think I've seen this in many games, but
yeah, there's also bishop g5, but bishop takes c4. Yeah, like in the game.
Okay. After bishop g5, h6, bishop h4, and then somehow e5, and I think
there's some lines. Okay. But this one you're down a pawn, and I think that's a great position if you want to win.
Yes, I think so also.
So there are not so many lines where I can just.
But most of the times I see this position and black wins with the pawn up, and I think why did white sacrifice a pawn?
Okay, takes.
And okay, you went back here. I thought if you take, then I wanted to play bishop a3. And after
your queen is hanging.
Queen b3, knight d5, bishop a3, rook e8, and then I wanted to take on d5.
And then to take and take.
No, take first.
Yeah, take. Then I take with the pawn.
And then take with the queen.
But then I. You've got another one. Okay. Yeah, you're right.
Yes, and then I thought, okay, I'm up in development, and okay, only one pawn down.
If I take that, that's 2 pawns.
No, but I win back to d5.
Yeah, some seconds I saw this position and then no. Let's go back. Let's just go back.
Okay, I think rook e1 could be a mistake maybe because you want to play b6, bishop b7.
Yeah, rook e1. What was the idea?
I thought you can't play something like bishop b7, c6, and I wanted to bring my rook maybe to the king side.
Yeah, I thought rook b1 I also thought not that good because if you play rook b5 then I always have bishop a6.
Oh, okay, I didn't calculate so much here, but it seemed like a good move. But okay, here I
bishop g5.
Yes, I mean that's an important decision to where to put the bishop. Maybe to a3 is better, but I thought okay.
Okay, you also had knight e5, but then I thought bishop b7.
If I want to play knight e5, I should have played this first. Knight e5 first.
Instead of rook b1.
Yes. Okay, here I mean bishop b7 first or h6? H6. Right?
Yeah, I played h6 and I thought okay, h6 you go back, and then you played h4 and I thought whoop.
Yeah, I thought here is the moment to become creative, but maybe it's simply bad. But like in the game, it was
in the game I thought
very sharp.
This move has to be bad, but we were playing rapid.
Yeah, and I think it was the right decision here to go for the initiative. Okay, knight d5.
Yes, I also thought okay, maybe just to play bishop b7. You can take on f6, then
maybe
I take back. But I thought, okay,
maybe I don't take on
yes,
f6.
You don't have to take on. You can play knight e5, maybe g6 at some point. And then I thought, okay, let's just play knight e5.
And okay, maybe after bishop b7, I can take on e6. And after bishop takes, rook f7,
okay,
maybe I have g6.
Sorry. After bishop b7, rook takes e6, and then take with the bishop. But and I can't play rook f7 because of g6. Okay.
But okay, that's
many crazy lines. I think we'll get.
Here I thought, okay, of course I want to put my queen on h5, on h5, but it seems impossible because if my knight moves, then d5 is hanging, and c3 I have to protect. That's why I thought queen d2. I wondered about queen d6 here.
I thought queen d6 and then queen f4.
Yeah, okay, but knight d5 I want to play. And there it seemed that queen d6 was a...
Yeah, but...
Okay, I didn't play knight d5, but the other...
Yeah, you're right, I thought, okay, just to play anything, queen d6.
Maybe instant bishop a6.
Yeah, bishop a6, I wasn't that sure, because if you get away, you can play c4. And I wasn't that sure, I thought, okay, queen d6. Then you have to think about the position, and I've got some time, but then you played rook e4 and was bad again. Okay,
rook e4, and here I thought, okay, now I have really good chances because you spend the tempo to play queen d6, and I didn't spend a tempo with rook e4 because I wanted to play this.
Hey, you don't protect queen f4, you just play rook e4.
Yes. And
I thought about f5, but that was way too crazy.
I mean, then g6 becomes much stronger. But okay, maybe, yeah, but e5. Okay, maybe it's an idea, but
I played
bishop a6.
And you took.
And I took, and I think this was a good move.
Yes.
Because your knight on a6 is very bad.
Yes, I thought, okay, we'll get down some pieces and then everything is gonna be alright, but it wasn't.
I mean, what I should avoid is that you can play c5 and then knight c7.
Yes.
That's why I have to proceed with my attack to avoid, because now, okay, queen d3 is threatening.
With double threat.
Okay, in the worst case, you can give back the piece and maybe win c3, but also then I have the attack.
But I don't have to take on c3 because I'm not down a pawn.
Yes, no, I mean, if you make nothing and then queen d3, g6, I take, you can take c3 and...
Yeah, I thought about this, g6, queen d3, and then I thought of maybe king g7, just to give back the material.
And save your king.
And save the king, maybe, but then I thought, okay...
Maybe it's better than you played in the game. Maybe, I don't know, but...
It should be drawish, but...
Yeah, my feeling is that here black should be objectively winning. But in practical,
yes, and with...
Okay, I mean b5, yeah, I mean knight b8 you don't want to play, of course.
Yes, and that's the only move. If you take, I got rook b8, of
course. No, I didn't.
Okay, now the only way to protect knight f4, but that's that's bullshit.
I've seen that after king g7, I have also this, every time this idea with rook h6 and then take on g6.
Yeah, and I calculated king g7 and now queen h3,
rook h8, takes,
king takes, and then knight takes f7.
Yeah, then king g7.
You take, I take back, you take on b5, and then I take on c3, that's what I calculated. But
okay, then I
you've got rook a5 and take on a7, and this gotta be winning.
Yeah, I think so. Your pawns are so weak, and
that's a check because there's no f pawn.
If you're winning, no, it's not check. Your king is on h8.
Yeah, but
you
okay. Then maybe go to g8.
Yes.
That's
okay, but I think
you maybe don't have to take on a7 and play a4.
Maybe it's winning, but my feeling is that I shouldn't exchange so much material.
Yes.
But I have to play precise. Maybe first to play queen f3 is important or something. Okay, here, okay. If I take with the rook, you can go to...
Yeah, and then queen f3, I wasn't that sure.
Me neither. Oops.
And knight f7 I haven't seen at all. You took and then not so many seconds.
I have an idea.
Tell me.
If you play queen e7 then, maybe I can play rook f6 with the idea that the knight on d5 is pinned.
Yes, I thought I've got to play rook h7. And this should be the best, but then also you have rook f6. So after takes, king f8, queen f3, rook h7, I wasn't that sure.
Okay, I mean it's a difficult position. I think if I play now, I don't know. But okay, knight takes f7 is a mistake, obviously.
Okay, after knight f7, that's some the moves are
I mean, here also I can play queen f3 first. Then you don't have knight f4.
Yeah, but you can't take on g6 then. Because your queen is on d3.
Yeah, but on f7.
Yeah, but then
I
g6
can't,
not
I can't.
in.
Yes.
Okay, let's just think.
But okay, there may be also lines with queen f3, rook f8, rook takes b5 is threatening to take on d5, and then queen f6 check.
Yeah, maybe after queen f3 I also play queen e7 to take on
another interesting line I think was instead of rook h6 to play queen h3, and after rook h8 not to take on h8 and first take on f7. But there's maybe two.
There are so many lines.
Okay. But okay, in the game I think after knight takes f7,
knight
f7
f4 has to be played.
Yeah, I blundered. I've seen, but 1 second too late again.
I haven't seen knight f7 at all. I thought, not so much time. Okay, knight f4 only move. Just play it.
Maybe here I should take on d. I should have taken.
Yeah, but then you're down a piece. Yeah. Maybe you've got drawing chances, but you have to win. You have to win this game.
Okay, here I played queen e4.
Rook takes g6. I cannot take because you take the queen.
Yes.
And then
take. Here rook f6.
Rook f6, of course.
And here queen e4.
I thought maybe knight to e2 here.
Maybe
you cannot take. You got to go king f1 and then to take here.
Oh, I went to f3. I think
you went to f3. Sorry. Okay. But okay, later I haven't seen anything at all. We should.
Okay, I mean, a lot of you could have played knight e2 every time, I think. But then I say king f1.
My knight here I think is very good because it protects the king somehow.
Yeah. But okay, here I mean maybe there were some chances to win the game or to equalize somehow. I mean, your two pieces are not so strong and your king is weak.
Yeah, but everybody 5 seconds.
Objectively, I think it should be winning here for you. But my feeling is that maybe if I play queen f3 first instead of rook h6, then you can't go with your rook to.
Yeah, or play queen f3 and just take and take on.
And maybe I can win a tempo if I play queen f3. Then I don't know what you play, but you can't go for rook h8, then rook h6, and then back to b4 maybe.
Okay, yeah.
And then it's threatening on g6, and maybe but
so many crazy lines we should.
Yeah,
we should check with the computer.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for the match.
Congratulations.
Thanks.